Good evening, everybody. How's it going? Welcome to week 2, technically, of the next ETF2L season currently going on, autumn 2023, season 46, 45. I don't know. I've already lost it. I had it last week. I've already lost it this week. Who cares? It's TLR versus Forfence. One French team, half of the French rosters we have in Prem this season versus TLR. First of all, hi, I'm Cerny, joined by Beater on production and Dumtum on the mic. How's it going, buddy?
Pretty good. Yeah, you say autumn season. I don't know, it's winter time now. Might as well be Christmas already at this point. Once, I guess, Halloween is in like 2 days, and then it's just going to be Mariah Carey everywhere you go. Can't escape it, but maybe we can distract ourselves a little bit here with some good gaming.
Perhaps. I mean, as we've already deemed in the first week, and it's probably going to continue the trend here, this season is probably going to be quite close. It's probably going to be a close matchup this time as well. I mean, last season, these two teams met. They were very closely matched, and, well, Forfence did end up placing second last season. They had a great run for playoffs and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, they had a tough run against TLR last time, and if TLR have gotten better, who knows what could happen. First of all, they'll have to go through them on product. For that matter. And
some things have changed, some stayed the same in terms of rosters as well. I think this is the first time we see Forfence now this season as well, and there's high expectations of them now. You mentioned they finished really well last season, got second, TLR barely missed on playoffs, didn't change anything. Forfence themselves, after a strong season last season, swapped 2 players around, so we'll see how much that matters. But for what it's worth, experienced players coming in, so we'll see.
We'll see how that goes. We also do have the roster right here. If you want to look at them, there they are. Che and Nevo on the scouts. Azuna's coming in because I'm pretty sure he did not play last season. Matter of fact, he hasn't played in a long time. Coming on the soldier role alongside Brugman, and he got Alien, Smiley, and Poi rounding out the roster as well. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if Poi was playing for them last season. I don't remember.
No, it was Juxta, who's now scout, obviously, on Premiership as well. So, swapped a few things around here and there. TLR won't be slouches. I believe the last results last season on, I believe, entirely different maps as well, were 4-1-3-2, double 5 CP, so competitive for sure, considering that one of these teams got second, the other one got fifth. Still very close results here, but this time around, TLR needs some points. They already had a bit of an awkward start, let's say, week 1 here. Got more points than they lost, I suppose, but still, you want as much as you can get here, especially against teams as good. Won't be easy, however, and it looks like we are starting in just a moment here.
Yeah, they are indeed. Maybe already fighting over the point. I mean, nothing has happened yet, so don't worry about it. Teams are just spamming each other. This is what happens. This is how it goes on these product mid fights sometimes.
Admittedly, very slow mid fight. I can't beat it.
Oh, there's a bomb by Ryan. He's going in behind. All right, he's bought some time as Brugman tries to do the opposite on the other side, and there you go. They're actually finding frags. Matt and Pandemic both go down. Traded out for Azunas on the other side. It's gonna be not looking that great for TLR. The remaining soldier, and Ryan's gonna have to try and pull some weight here, perhaps, but he's trying to deny Brugman, gets him up in the air high, but still doesn't get the kill. Matter of fact, Flick dies on the other side, and that's the first fight on that point lost for TLR.
Alright, not bad. Forfence last season on product looked really good, all things considered, which is impressive because they also look good against the Witness of all teams too. So expectations for me on this map for them are high. However, it still was allowed to be played here. It wasn't banned after all, so we'll see how it goes into this first exchange. Poi holding until the scout actually hits the shots as the exchange comes through. TLR still have some proving ground. I don't really remember how good the product was at all, but certainly have nothing to lose in that regard, I guess, as well, as long as they finally get something started. This exchange by some good time. Only 30 seconds off the clock. There's bombs coming through. They want as much damage as they can. That moment really weak, but they're not finding any kills until really late. Might be still enough to force them back already. Now they're leading numbers on red. They already got this much space. However, with this many casualties on the other side as well, it looks like they are opting to delay as much as they can, and that's just more and more value of this first cap for the French team.
Yeah, it's unbelievable they actually held on to this for so long. They lost Alien, well, quite early at the end there, and still managed to just lock the point down anyway. No cap time until finally, almost a minute off the clock for the French team before TLR finally takes the point themselves. Now, immediately though, even if the Uber's a bit better for June here, it's not much to write home about. Poi's gonna have a response soon enough, and we're looking at another exchange potentially as the Frenchies are getting ever more aggressive. There's a bomb in by Brugman already, doesn't quite find the target, but it doesn't matter, because Azunas nukes the entire damn team!
This man got second from before, and you know what? We want this at the very least again right now. We're not settling for less than that, and that is the point back for the red team almost right away. Looks like with this many deaths as well, they are much too smart to realize that capping immediately will just cost them more time actually than it will gain them. Sucks a little bit, TLR gets a bit of bonus time, but realistically, you want your players up as soon as you can here. Don't want to just get walked at right away and get forced instantly. However, that might still be what's at stake. Spawns are up now, but what is TLR going to do otherwise, right? This medic needs to use his Uber sooner or later, so everyone's right back to the point where there's no downtime yet at all here. Trying to just get some early presence on the cap, but again, we've seen Bushman go behind before. This time around, there's no drop maybe, but there sure is an Uber charge being used regardless.
Yeah, they're just gonna try to rat out, smoke out all of these TLR players. They're finding a few frags, but they do lose point. Ryan manages to slip in. The sack wave was effective at the end of the day because June stays alive as well. It's only Nevo left now, and well, he has slept in behind a little bit. Matt has spotted him though, and is gonna get some help by Flick as well to keep him at bay at the very least. They flip the point, and they are once more in control for the time being. June has been building a lot, to be fair, but she's still gonna be 60% up on Poi right now, so if there's any chance for TLR to make up some time, it is now. They have a great position to be holding on to this point for a little bit. If they don't lose to these soldier bombs coming in by the Frenchies immediately. June, nice surf up onto the bridge. No danger there at all. Everybody else kept at bay as well. Matter of fact, picks up a frag out to Shade too. Not a successful sack wave at all for the Frenchies there.
Yeah, turned around quickly on them. Suddenly it's TLR in pretty good position. Gonna get the Uber up already. Bit of a forward hold maybe as well if they're quick enough to take chances here. Yeah, looks like it. All of just a bad Uber on the side of 4 fans. They hoped for a little bit too much there. Just tunnel vision to combo too hard, but didn't really find anything. Bad timing. Gets punished badly. Now they have to get out of spawn first of all. By that point, the timer will look pretty for TLR already. Giving up a lot of space early. Pandemic caught right away as well. This power alone is really threatening them back already. They don't want to mess around with this too much longer. Okay, they got out of spawn. Never might have to switch off the pyro first of all. Waste a bit of time, but we've gotten this far. Barely fallen behind just now. One good exchange is really all they're looking for right now. Let's see who has to give in on the medics first. Often is the team not on point, but doesn't change the fact that they're still trying to see if there's anything they can do to sway their opinions there on the other side a bit. And maybe not quite a better Uber on them, but not a bad one at all here. With some cap time gets both teams on point pretty early. Have to fall back a little bit here at the end though, and is being used to get some bodies behind on the right side. And look at that, they're just piling up people on the right. Soldier threatens the flank, and the scouts clean up forward beautifully on the side of 4 fans.
That's all it took. The Uber is faded. There's nobody to keep you alive anymore on that flank with a flash or anything like that. TLR's flank crumbles immediately, and 4 friends are back in control. But they are down on time as well. 30 seconds at this late in a product round does make a bit of a difference here, and TLR are ready to try and break this forward hold as well that the Frenchies have mounted. They have the pyro ready. Flick is already air blasting everything out of the way. Matter of fact, the Frenchies kind of just give it up immediately. They realize, this isn't going anywhere. We'll maybe try to send a bomb, if anything. They still have Shay up on the high ground as well, but nah, they've all backed off. It's a very fair solution. At the end of the day, the Ubers are still equal, and they are
not up
the
yet
point.
as well at that point. You got to be careful there if you're sitting forward with your medic, and anyone getting out of spawn is just very fast to be threatening onto your medic class as well. However, as much as they're getting 2 point, they're not getting onto point all too safely there in the end. Lots of spam things you would have to use in quite early themselves. Ryan with a flank run, gets 2 for the price of 1. Dubo will come up behind him now. Cleans that kill up as well. Maybe they can make up for numbers there. Okay, flank did some good damage, but gets taken out pretty quick as well. Mathis tries to extend off the damage as well. Barely gets out alive with it though. Losing a third one would have been disastrous for the side of TLR, but they're still not in good shape afterwards. Nevo gladly chases that. Blown up afterwards, but who cares? Nevo down. We got what we wanted. The point stays at red.
And Nevo just fucking running down Zam, takes him down. He has got a vendetta on that guy. Now the timer is at 0 for 4 fans. TLR have to get onto this point if they want to stay in this round. And they are doing an okay job. They flip the point. They find a couple of frags. And by that I mean 1 with Brugeman. 4 fans very much still in this. Their health isn't looking as good, but they also know they have a bit of time to, try and take this point back. TLR have to defend it. They have no choice but to stay on top of it. And with Ryan going down, that's becoming ever more difficult. They do find a couple of frags with Che and Azuna's going down, though. Flick does get taken up on the meantime. On the other side, it's still a back and forth tug of war across this point. Both teams not willing to give each other even an inch of space here.
I'm surprised with how much offense is rushing this right now. They had a decent advantage, and it's just gone from there now. June actually had on Uber now in the final engagement. There's a quick kill on the flank, but they need cap time badly right now as Uber goes through. Luckily enough, overtime here to not have to worry about cap time during Uber all. And with Bushman behind, they have a bit of an ace in the hole here, it looks like, but not quite. Gets spotted early. Still some good damage as they're getting to the point. And where's everyone going? They're just sitting back. They lost 1 guy, and everyone's just cowering in fear behind the rock. And maybe also trying to hide from Bushman, but you can't hide from both. Someone's gonna go somewhere, and in the end, they're just sitting there letting it happen. And that's the round for 4 fans. But as promised by both of us, it's looking close so far.
Yeah, I mean, double overtime in the first round is as close as you can get. Let's see if that actually continues, or if TLR immediately crumbles after that, and the mental is just in the gutter after one last round. I suppose we'll have to see. Let's see if this is going to be another slow mid as well, where nobody does anything for, I don't know, like 30 seconds. I suppose it's going to have to boil down to that. For now, that seems like what's happening. Yep, just a bit of spam across the point, scouts peppering each other down. There's the bombs out of TLR soldiers, though. Obviously, Forfeit soldiers try to respond. They find Ryan, they find Brugman in a trade, though, and it looks like they do find Zams as well, so I suppose it is already looking better for the Frenchies here. If they have to not worry about the demo at all. Flick gets picked up as well. Now June has to be escorted up by Pandemic as best as they can get out of there. Matt also, not much he can do all by himself. Maybe a cheeky bit of spam, a cheeky bomb, but this is it. Frenchies take the point once more.
Yeah, really good focus fire by 4 fans. Once again, push equals big mistake. TLR tries to initiate first and just gets completely picked apart for it. Bombs denied. Demo down right after. Now the long way back to point. It's not too much cap time, at least. This whole thing took a while to actually get the cap time wrapped up in the end on the red team, so not too much lost just yet, especially if this next fight goes well. Let's take Nuba over the point. Both teams just kind of using Nubas next to each other, trying to just see what they can rush down on the flank. It looks like 4 fans might have the better choice there in the end. Find Ryan pretty early, Scouts really weak as well, and now it's just a bomb back to the cap. Don't want to leave this wide open. Do themselves no favors there in terms of that damage, though. Never caught in a crossfire after denying the point space, but they're doing good work there. Brugman Alien, big damage into that little pocket area, completely annihilate anything that was left of the combo, and it's just looking good enough from here on out. Did lose a couple, so you can't really take this one too easy, as good as it is. The players are down for a little bit longer here. They're going to roll out really quickly. By the time you're back on point, you beat out a little bit to the spawns. It will help a bit for the refight, but at the bottom line, they still bought them already a minute with this one good fight, so a little bit more of this, and they're in there.
Yeah, Frenchies are ruling this point with an Iron Fist right now. They gotta stay onto it. They're already finding Ryan trade out for Nevo. There's Zams taken down again as well. TLR just not having the point presence they want to right now. They're losing players way too quickly, just trying to get this point flipped. Even with the Ubers equal, they are not in a good position combat-wise right now. They are not finding the frags they should be. And even if they flip the point now, there's already a minute and a half, almost half the timer gone for the Frenchies already. So, yeah, it's not looking all that hot for them, though. Both teams have an Uber now, both teams have everybody alive for the time being, and, well, the Frenchies have a little bit of time on their hands to try and retake this point however they please. They're gonna put some pressure on the cap time immediately. There's the Uber, but June drops again!
Just to stick over the point as the scout walked in. Perfect timing for every bit of damage on the side of offense to come through clutch, and that just ends the fight before it really started. Actually, well, I mean, they still have to recap, but a bit of spam is really all they have. No sort of looking for the bomb just yet, but they're taking their time here after getting in all together, it looks like, in the end, but all into the same position, just body blocked in front of that little bridge. No one's getting to be where they want to be. And that's just looking beautiful for fans. This round is just running away from Pila.
Yeah, they are struggling to keep up with 4 friends right now, and now they're gonna find themselves trying to break a forward hole with a full Uber on Poi as well. It's not looking good for TLR, bros. That being said, they may very well still have a chance. Actually, they didn't go for the forward hole. I guess 4 friends weren't feeling healthy enough. They weren't feeling it, so fair enough. Still, they have so much time. They can go deep.
And ooh, what a beautiful pause situation here, Chad. I think we have an active bet already going. So just type 1 in the chat if you think Poi either uses or loses this Uber one way or another. Because it's not unlikely right now. This is this is looking a little bad for Medic Mine in this situation.
Yeah, there's like 3 people surrounding this Medic. It's a tough situation to be in, certainly. Look, if Poi at least uses, then maybe there's a chance to just clean up these kills. It's only a force at that end of the day. June's going to have a 60% ad, and TLR are going to... Well, they're certainly flipping the point. That's no doubt. Flick is already on the point, and it's about a millimeter away from being capped. So
that might be a little lying, though, with the pause. The pause timer just keeps going. It could mean anything.
I suppose.
So we'll see what comes out of it. It's I wouldn't want to be in this situation no matter what.
No,
and we have the benefit to sit here and think about this for like ever. In real time, this already happened for Poi, and Poi had like no time to think about this at all. You're just gonna realize, see what flew in initially, and if you missed one of them, you might miss the lethal shot in the end.
Yeah, this is a hellish situation to be in as a medic. Like these we could very well be a dead man already. This is like Schrodinger's box, right? This is like a quantum superposition. He could very well be dead already. We don't know. He could have also just popped, and then at the very least, he keeps himself an alien alive. Maybe flashes Nevo, and Azuna seems to be trying to shut down Matt. Let's not forget about that.
Well,
He is
I think
bombing
it's
him right
funny
now.
if a medic drops in this situation. Let's just say
Yeah,
that
obviously.
much.
Obviously.
It's only fair, right? We have seen it drop on the other side, now it's the other way. That's how that goes, right? You gotta be nice to your opponents and give them one sometimes.
Yeah, obviously. You gotta make it even.
Oh yeah, I guess we talked about this before the game as well real quick, right? But ETF2L still hasn't, or well, the players, I guess, in this case, still haven't changed the scheduling of Guard against Man on the ETF2L website. It is currently put for today, but it is very much not happening today.
Yeah.
But every time people say, oh, we're playing this next week, they never changed the date of the match, so it's still there. Ooh, wait a second.
Oh.
Big damage coming through. That's the force. Okay, we're reacting in time. So yeah, no second frame game today. This is all you're getting, and quite frankly, with how it's looking so far, I don't know if you need much more, to be honest. This is certainly a game and a half already here. And with that fourth, it gives them a fighting chance on TLR, but they're so far behind now.
Yeah, they have so much time to make up, and the fact that they are also being forward held. Forfen's trying to buy as much time as they possibly can, delay them for even longer. If they're unlucky, TLR, they even have to Uber out of this, which ideally they would not want to, and they managed to actually break it. They bust the forward hold at least a little bit. Forfens are forced back to the point as well, and matter of fact, they're not in the healthiest position overall. They all have to kind of just get some heals for a minute, regroup. And TLR are rearing to take this point as easily as they possibly can, perhaps even without having to use, if they... No, okay, they can't. June sees the danger, decides to use. There's a bomb in by Zams as well. They find Alien, which is a decent grab to get here with the demo. Unfortunately, losing your own softens the blow on that a little bit, and now even if they're in control, is a lot of time they gotta make up. They are literally down 2.5 minutes. This is a lot.
I think Azun is just threateningly penciled towards point, had the scout walk in with him, and then Shay gets killed instead of the pencil soldier. Unfortunate one, sometimes there is no justice in this world, but who cares? They're in with the Uber now, that's what really matters, and they're cleaning up big time. Flank tonight as well, tried to throw Mappers behind while the Uber walked past him, but not gonna happen. Zem's last ditch effort there will fall short as well. No mercy on the cap for offense, no they have to do. They're quick to do it. And well, I'm gonna hazard a guess. The pause that happened as the 2-0 round gets scored might have been a map talk real quick.
There's a good chance. Flick likes doing those little tactical pauses. We've seen it a lot out of his teams over the years. Whenever they get absolutely massacred, there's a little bit of a tack pause that he puts in.
But
so
how
perhaps,
often have they mattered?
Well, that's a different question. I don't know. I'm not like this statistician on that one. Either way, on the other side, you have Che as the sniper. Trying to bring out some headshots, and
I guess they saw the tactic boss and decided, okay, they're changing how they play. Now let's do it as well, so they're not ready for it.
And it seems to be working pretty well. They found Ryan and Flick. They have lost Bruges and Azunas though. So
never mind, we're hitting every
all
pipe.
right. Yeah, okay. Alien is just he's laying pipe. It's over. It's over. At least June lived.
That's something, but that's still a point control for the team with Sniper now, and that's not where you want to be after a mid fight. Looking good once again. That's a benefit to just having like a decent foundation of like sniper gameplay on this map, even without double scout, right? You can just bust it out sometimes to throw them for a loop and see what they do in reaction to this. And looks like the mirror match, in fact, Pandemic picks up the rifle as well. However, we have 2 scouts on the other side still.
Yeah, Ryan is swapped over to scout, feeling comfortable, and Flick is gonna be the one to fall instead of anybody else here. He's gonna be taking that bullet to the skull and going back to the respawn queue. It's gonna be a bit of a slower round now. They've slowed down the game a little bit here, both teams trying to make the sniper play work. Alright, Pandemic manages to win the duel against Che. Now he's got free reign potentially, as long as no soldier tries to shut him down. And, well, Brugman looks to be doing exactly that. He's jumping cliff, he's already in behind. Pandemic very well aware of this, as the Uber gets exchanged on the point. And they find Azunas out of it, I suppose. That's all they could have really caught in that one, and now they have to back up with TLR. Matter of fact, they got still Brugman behind, and...
How is he getting away with all this? There's sort of landing on his head, and he still gets the kill on him in the end? Way too much of work by Brugman on Cliff. Got the sniper already, that's alone is really nice coming up in this one. They didn't switch off either. I feel like maybe they would have, but no, they saw the sniper on either side and deciding to double down on this for the time being. This first fight certainly took forever to get accomplished in the end, but TLR buys them a full minute and then some. On the French side, so not looking too bad at all, but have to repush now in the sniper v sniper. If Pandemic keeps hitting them, I guess that's going to be a problem, and doing a good job of that so far. Maybe they can keep that one up, doing the next little bit of just trench warfare here between the 2 sniper mains at this point. Oh, there we go. That's it. That's
Never
what we need to
mind. You cursed them. Che gets that duel this time around, and that opens things up wonderfully for Forfens. As TLR now have to be avoiding every side lane they possibly could, and unfortunately Ryan didn't do a good job at that, so he gets taken down as well, and now TLR are gonna have a rough time defending this point, and with the time already down as well, this is not a great situation to be in. You are already behind again, now you've got 2 players down just now respawning. Pandemic is still gonna stick to the sniper, trying to trying to beat this duel once more. If he can hit a clutch headshot, that's all that matters. That could turn the tide once more. That's why Sniper is so dangerous on this map. That being said, looks like TLR are going to want to try to use their Uber in here, and they're finding absolutely nothing with it. Flick did not hit a single meat shot, I'm pretty sure, and just dies trying to run into Poi. That's very sad.
That is a tough one. Back around it goes. In fact, it really doesn't go anywhere at all. That's just good news for Fans. This point basically unplayed so far. They still have the sideline to work with as well. Throwing more bodies in point, hoping for the best here, but how long can they stay? Damage is still not looking bad for Fans. There's a snipe finally coming through. Maybe that's all they need here, but there's the big snipe right there. Shay hits the Vedic out of nowhere. That was just trying to spam down the point a little bit, but little did they know they're playing right into their hands here. Getting good cap out of it, admittedly, but how much staying power do you have even with this cap? They're falling back, they're playing on the sniper with one down after all, but they have the first ball. That's just game over in a second when they finally got themselves all together again. And they're getting these flanking players as well. Everyone's just trying to go in for a kill on the sniper. On the medic doesn't matter, on something. But it's just one by one trickling in and getting shot down so easily, and now there's no chance they force to see at all.
Yeah, it's unbelievably over unless TLR can pull a miracle out of the hat right now, because it is not looking great. Pandemic not winning those sniper duels anymore, not getting the shots he needs to. Che in the meantime turning up, getting the frags he needs to, and man, oh man, TLR are struggling to even get any sort of ground on this point right now. They are going to try to put down some cap time. They are trying to grab some grounds with Nevo down. They are able to have their soldiers reign free, reign supreme, as long as Che doesn't pick him out of the sky, but Flick does get taken down once more, and with that already, and the Uber popped as well, maybe it was a bit of a force, I suppose. They got that out of Poi, but still, they're going to have to make the next Uber count, and they make it count fast, because they have 15 seconds to get onto this damn point.
Yeah, time is running away from them. Looks like also the changing times of today is affecting them a point a little bit here. Where has the time gone? They need so much more. They have basically none of it. Get some good damage at least. Movement alien down. Gets the recap with nothing else, but you get a bonus bullet on the head completely for free with your product capture as well. Shay is nice like that, and now it's just a fight for survival on cap, and they're getting forced so early while still dropping a player.
I don't know what it is with French snipers, man, but there's something, they're putting something in the water, is all I'm saying. Flick gets taken down, June on the run. Ryan and Matt both trying their absolute damage to shut down this point somehow, but not finding it. Sams get picked out of the air as well. Yeah, that was a bit of a disaster for TLR.
Alright, but next...
Surely,
yeah,
next map.
It's unreal as well, because like, I think at this point it's been a while since we've seen like consistent sniper usage in Prem again, right? It's like always, it's like once a year you have like the one team that's really pushing for it, and then everyone like begrudgingly has to like readjust learning against it. And I guess Fans took it upon themselves to be their team. We've seen a little bit of Shay sniping last season already, but currently they didn't even really need to necessarily, it feels like, right? It was probably opponent's tactical pause that made them switch just to throw them for a loop, and it kind of worked beautifully, actually.
Yeah, it worked better than the first two rounds. They were even more dominant once they switched to Chase Sniper, which is quite telling. Like, if you're going for attack pause and then you lose even harder after the attack pause, I don't even know what that does to your mental, man. That's got to be devastating. That's, like, you got to go to therapy after that.
Well, they don't have time for that just yet. They still have to play another map, which might just make the therapy case even worse, potentially. They got to really pull out a map on this one. It's going to be a very different map, though, for better or for worse. We'll see how much that impact things. It's Sunshine, I believe, up next, so things will change quite a lot from this performance, which might be a great benefit to TLR for now.
Yeah, looking at these stats, Zams was doing damage, man. But nobody was following. He wasn't killing anything, and nobody was following it up either. Pandemic tried his best, but that's about it, really. Nobody else really finding any frags. I think that spells really the tail here for TLR. I think they were just struggling with focus. They were not being able to focus down any targets at all. Like, Zams was doing so much damage, was doing so much work, and yet, you know, nobody was cleaning it up at all. So, end of the day, they don't get anything done.
Yeah, it's a tough one. That still has to look better. The map might change, but that still has to be improved going forward from here. Otherwise, the mid-fights themselves will already be a disaster, and if you don't win those, then I'm sure Fans have last on lockdown at that point, so it's going to be quite a difficult one here right now as well. This might be the least deaths on a free or product game I've ever seen as well on Medics. That's actually insane, all things considered.
Yeah, considering June dropped twice as well.
Okay, now you just make it look extra bad. I was going to say, wow, June didn't die at all. Now you're just saying, damn, every death was a drop.
The few times she did, unfortunately, she didn't press right mouse button beforehand, so whoopsies.
Haha, it happens. Sometimes maybe it shouldn't though. Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one to come back from, I suppose, like you said. But it wouldn't be TLR if they wouldn't have been through the worst of it at some point already in various constellations. So I'm sure they have means to come back already again in the back pocket. Quite frankly, I don't know who picked what map of these. Obviously, there's small selection. You can only do so much with these few maps you have each week. So realistically, you still just have to kind of be good on them, I suppose. But I don't know.
Maybe that's what TLR. Like, I feel like if you watched Forfence on Product last season, a reasonable team would have probably banned Product against Forfence here, right? So the fact that TLR didn't means they were probably taking their chances on it.
Entropy.
either they don't know, they are completely clueless, or they wanted to get rid of Entropy as even more badly.
Which I'll take, not because I like the map, although I don't hate it actually, but more so because you always bank on your opponent banning the map that is new.
Yeah.
Never waste your own ban on it first. You just play cat and mouse until someone gives in, you know?
I suppose we'll have to see how Sunshine goes then, though. I would assume if they were taking their chances on Product, maybe Sunshine is going to be a different story. Maybe they've got homework to do on Product.
Okay, I did fact check, and admittedly, this is like 5 months ago now. But the last time they played against each other last season, they did play on Sunshine. I remember that much, actually. I didn't remember which map that was. It was map 2. It was the closer one of the two. It was the 3-2 map. So I guess that might play into things. They probably played it a couple times since then, of course, as well on either side, especially TLR, to want to see it here again and being confident about it. Where Forfence probably full confidence going into Product. Just, we can pick it? Sure. Let's go for it. And we've known them to be pretty good on the map. We still very much do exactly that. So that hasn't changed. So maybe a good Sunshine performance for TLR isn't out of the question just yet either. That's going to be interesting, though, especially considering my eyes for this one will be on Flick, looking at the logs from the last time they played against each other. He was the big performer that match, so we'll see if they can pull themselves back together and avoid what you mentioned, which is to get into their own heads too much just now.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Even if you just got absolutely shellacked on the last map, if you can stay in it in the mental, if you can just look past and be like, all right, we completely dropped the ball, maybe, just maybe, we can stabilize here. They get in their mental, take a quick piss break, God knows what, right? Maybe we're going to be looking at a different map here. Yeah, if Flick can actually step up his performance, because let's be honest, he was not looking strong on Product at all, which is strange considering it's a scout-centric map, but yeah.
It's going to be interesting. Well, chat, you know what it is. You know what time it is. Betting is open for map 2. You can gamble your way your channel points real quick, so only make sure of that, and then, hope for the big bucks, I guess, right? I don't know how the odds are right now, but you'd imagine after that first performance, most people would believe in Forfence, and that's where you come in and bet against them, because you can only win big if you bet on the underdogs.
All in.
All in, yeah.
Bet big on the underdogs. That's how you make trillions of dollars.
This is not financial advice.
You will win eventually. Just keep gambling.
But gambling is an
law of large numbers. Law of large numbers. You will eventually win. It's just inevitable.
Factually correct that if you bet more channel points on Twitch, you get more of the returns from the losers of the bet. This is a known fact. So always go all in. Let's see how it goes now. TLR needs a bit more than hoping for gambling. They need to just have hard facts in their favor right now to look good on Sunshine here. The class 1 was not it for them. Forfence looking really good on Product. And they're also mad one already.
Zams gets arrowed by Boy as the first kill of the mid-fight. That is disastrous. An absolute train wreck of a mid-fight for TLR. At the very least, they keep their Matt alive. They keep Matt as well to escort June back to last. But my goodness, that is a horrendous start to the map. And now Forfence are already looking down to make some pressure on last happen here as soldiers are flying across, Pandemic trying to maybe snipe somebody off, and the sentry just scrambling to be set up by Flick as well, as Forfence still waiting to cap second. And you know what? Pandemic gets an overextended Azunas. There you go, as Brugman tries his best to jump around last, but doesn't accomplish anything with it either. Alright, they've stabilized at least a little bit.
Well, time for everyone's favorite position in the game. Sunshine last, maybe it could be worse. It's not Snakewater.
Yeah, that's true. Also, Pandemic is aggressively snapping, trying to pick a big sideline. Alright. He wants to have something happen. He wants to be the playmaker here. Unfortunately, that's hard to do out of Sunshine last, so ambitious at best, and now he's just back to trying to hold with his team as, well, the ball is in Forfence's court. They are the attackers. They have to try and find a way to break this last hold now that they've given TLR so much time to set up, and, well, it might be a little bit of a tough one to bust. The Sentry's are in a very aggressive position as well, and I suppose we'll have to see what they try here. They're gonna try to send in a Bruggeman as he goes flying. And just a second, they drop June! They can't keep getting away with it, these soldiers. How do they do it?
I think they very much are getting away with it. They're using it instantly as well. Only one of the soldiers died. It's like nothing much has been lost already. They're just sitting on point right away. Everyone's still running from the Zuba, but they have no time to do just that. And I didn't even get the chance to mention that really good teams, the ones that win stuff in this game, can just do stuff on Sunshine Arts and get away with it. It might not be easy still. It might take a couple of minutes, but if you're good on this game, you can break this last damage out of an even with damage just fine. And they didn't even take any time at all to do it this time around. I don't know if that says much about for fans or TLR, but it says something about this game.
The Zunas and Bruggeman have been absolutely soldier-diffing Matt and Ryan right now, and it's not that Matt and Ryan haven't been doing well. They've been having their moments, and there you go, Ryan is on. Boy, he doesn't quite get the kill finished up, but a lot of damage, and
the ball!
They find the ball kill with Flick getting it. There you go. They're actually finding a lot of frags, but it's only Nevo and Alien left, so if they can keep the scout at bay, and Alien is just taking his time after picking up the pack, Matt is already on the flank as well. It's still Nevo is pulling his weight, though, here. Zams is getting shot out now, and he's gonna find the scout in his backline. Oh, man. It's not quite working out for them. Matt is trying to salvage this mid-fight still. Somehow, some way, making it work with Flick. And there you go, they find Alien. And Nevo is still being a thorn for these TLR players. He's being so annoying right now. They can't get him.
That drop on last was Flick's Joker moment. You'd think it might be losing Frame qualifiers or getting 5th by tiebreaker scores last season. No, this drop is that Joker moment, and now they're just all in at all times after that mid-fight. It has to be. Something has to change. Nothing what they've been doing has been working so far. It feels like they need something drastic. Maybe just going all in even more. Feels like the solution, but certainly it doesn't work for very long. The mid-fight looked good, but then, yeah. There's just the scout on top of you. What are you going to do? You can't jump him. You're just going to get shredded. And that was also enough time to get the rest of the team back involved. And it's not like they've been Ubered out of the whole thing either on TLR, so they just kind of begrudgingly have to give up the point yet again.
But at least maybe they have a fighting chance on second here. They have a slight ad. June needs a little bit of a sticky bomb, though. It's going to be dangerous if there was a soldier to follow up on, which thankfully for TLR there is not. They've got the Uber ready. Poi still just getting it just now. So going to be looking at a stalemate here on second. And, well, if anything that I've seen out of the Frenchies is going to hold true, we're going to see Bruggeman and Azunas work some magic again, and they might get away with it. They might very well if Pandemic and Flick are not there to deny them any sort of aerial control here. And, well, I guess Zams is doing an okay job shutting down Cafe as well right now, but they're gonna have to find a way to hold this very, very well, really. It's gonna be on forefence to not mess it up too much, but they have been so clean on these. Sams gets picked off by the Uber immediately. He's caught out of position. TLR, Pandemic goes down as well. June at least didn't have to use to save anybody else, dropping 2 players to maybe hang on to Uber, have a chance to repush maybe, but your push back to last Nevo is so aggressive as well, does so much damage to your soldiers. There's Bruggeman in, gets the air shot juggled, but still alive for so long. And the follow-up is already there by the Frenchies. They're all in. They don't even have an Uber. They're finally going to get it out of June. They finally all get taken down as well. Alien finally gets focused down. It's only Poi left, but they went so aggressive with that.
And
Jesus.
You have to in these situations as well. And Lord, if you see people just not do anything here, but there's no gun, they're barely getting back to last in time. The medic's not going to be in spawn just yet either. You got to be quick on these, and the second the first soldier sees what they are, the rest of the team just follows up, because who cares if you lose a couple? If the Uber's just gone, they were going to push out either way. Might as well make them use the Uber while you have a really good shot at the medic's life. Bit unfortunate on the respawns, I suppose, to still have to give up space on mid maybe, but in the end, it's maybe just a preferable outcome. Surprisingly, actually, Boy, really far behind. I guess they sent up one too many people in the end. Didn't have much on the beam there for a while, but ultimately, I mean, there's no chance you die to the supercharge if you take it out forcibly from them already.
I mean, that was well played by TLR. June milking for so long, willing to drop half the team to keep the Uber in exchange here, and it netted them a mid at the end of the day. They leapfrogged it extremely well. Now they just got to keep that momentum rolling. Unfortunately, they're going up against the full Uber on the other side. Poi did, in the end, manage to meet up with people fast enough, build fast enough to make it equal once more. Now, for the first time in this entire map, we're going to see TLR trying to actually make a push into the enemy second. Ryan in with a deep bomb, doesn't really find the targets, but there's a bit of cleanup by Flick to pick up that Azunas frag, so at the very least, they trade out the soldiers, and the flank is actually looking pretty aggressive for TLR right now. There's not much that Forfins can really do to hold it all that well. Chase trying his absolute best here. Nevo's going to try to help out a little bit maybe, but end of the day, they're probably just waiting for their Ryan to respawn, and Matt is actually going to try to in for a bomb here. Does get a nice little skip jump, but does not get the targets he wants. The Alien stays alive and gets arrowed back up to full health, so for now it's trying to break this hold.
That's not going to prove easy just yet, and once Forfans gets chances, they've been looking really quick to convert of them, so you still gotta be careful yourself here how much you're committing, because if your sack falls apart, you gotta still worry there's something coming back the other side immediately, and they're already one down, they can't afford to lose much more at this rate. Still, chances have to be taken sooner or later, this time around rotating through Cafe once again, without a soldier, just Demoman baiting in for the soldiers to make the damage happen, but it's not enough. Ryan will go down, and that's really all we're daring to do, no big threats just yet beyond that.
As it was a nice bomb in, he got in pretty deep, got onto Poi, didn't quite hit the first rocket though, and that's all she wrote. Well, he calls it right there. Forfans maybe trying to counter-sack, getting a little bit of aggression in, but they're perfectly content. They are up around. They don't have to take unnecessary risks if they don't wanna. They're just gonna take it easy, take it slow, try to wait for TLR to make the mistake here, which is what they've really been doing a good job at, because they've just been cleaner. They've made less mistakes, and that's gotten them to the situation in the first place. So we'll see if Flick is going to be the first mistake here as he gets picked off on the flank, taken down by Azunas, and maybe opens up some ground for the ladder here to actually make something happen into mid. Chase there to back him up as well. We do have Ryan trying his best to shut them down, but end of the day, it's too much pressure for him to hold alone. And yeah, they're not gonna push off of that. They're just gonna keep this steady. Forfans, if they wanna, I guess they can go for the round reset as well, which is ambitious, but I suppose it's possible.
And yeah, pressure is on TLR at the end of the day to really bring something together. That's now, if you want to win, you gotta eventually make a push happen yourself, one way or another. But not much coming of it yet. We'll see Ryan once again try, not going for anything too fancy, just knows there's a soldier around the corner, but can't really get away with that. Either Flick has to come in clean up in the end, and that does not end well for either of the two of them. But they got Azunas, I guess. We got what we wanted, but not the way intended.
Yeah, plus he's created 2 players for it. That's the key for Forfans to try and get into this mid now. 2 players down for TLR. Opens it up for them to try and grab some ground here, and that's exactly what they're doing already. TLR very respectful. Zams is out of the Uber completely as well. He's so far back on low health, having to grab a pack instead as the Ubers are exchanged on the scouts. Chariots all the way, but at the end of the day, Forfans are forced back, and if that's all you want to accomplish with it, so be it. But at the end of the day as well,
incredibly safe.
Yeah, like Forfans are not willing to push, but they also only have to hold for 90 more seconds. So it is not looking all that great for TLR here. They have to make something happen soon. Otherwise, they're going back to the mid fight, and those have not been going well for them so far. So they would probably not want that to happen. They would probably prefer to actually try and get this second cap at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, one team can afford to play safe. TLR, not so much. They're pretty weak. Would love to clean that up, but no one really gets in there. Bushman in the meantime on the flank, making a big move towards the pack in Cafe, but kind of just takes an L. However, tactically only takes 199 damage, and all of this barely gets out alive, despite Mathis trying his hardest to shoot him one more time. Does not work out at all here in the meantime. This is awkward. Yeah, okay, they clean up Ryan eventually.
I was watching that soldier duel happen on last for like a whole 20 seconds. Ryan on a fucking journey, trying to find something behind, but just gets shut down by Azunas eventually.
Someone's gonna do it.
Someone's gotta make something happen, bro. At this point, TLR are scrambling. They are scrambling, shambling around, trying to find something to get into the second. At this point, they're just gonna try to push and force it through Cafe, but Flick gets taken down by Spam.
It is so over.
No.
Like, this is mental destroying
anyway.
in every single situation here.
You got it at this point. Obviously, Poi is gonna have a way better Uber. You remember? Doesn't even have to use. Finally uses just to clean this up. At this point, Forfans might as well push out and try and take mid and not go for the round reset because it's being delivered to them on a silver platter. Matthew's trying his best here, but can't really get anything done either. Zams gets picked off as well, so Forfans back in control. They take mid, and they're probably gonna keep rolling this forward for a while as TLR tries to not completely go insane.
Alright, well, they still have one trap card behind Flick in the backline, but spotted by both scouts. Get the MST ready, no chance that gets through, and there we go. Nothing comes of that for TLR, just completely dismantled. Forfans, honestly, like, they still did stuff. They still didn't play fancy or anything like this, but they just sat there, reacted, and did everything right, it looks like. And now the bombs on last already happening. They have Uber coming up, but they want it all right now. Might not quite work out. They're heavy up now too. They're not trading favorably, so chance taken. But they ultimately will just fall back. Uber adds not much, so I doubt they will use this, especially with soldier spawns still waiting to happen too. Took a chance here trying to get to the medic early. Like I said earlier, right? When you're transitioning from second to last, it's a good chance. That is exactly when the medic is most vulnerable. So taking their chances early while they can, but this time around they're a little bit more ready for it, it looks like. Still, they're not where they want to be, so does it really matter?
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, TLR are still down around. The map is about almost halfway done. So Forfeits could put another round on the board here very, very soon if they have another great last hold bust, which Bruchman and Azunas have shown themselves to be very capable of so far. So we'll see what they try to do here as Flick is getting essentially just about to level 3. There you go. He's got that ready, and well, it's going to be on Forfeits to try and get in there. Bruchman and Azunas again, the same pirouette, and unfortunately this time they don't really find any targets. They didn't even get the sentry either, so this time around, June learned her lesson. She was in a better position to not get absolutely destroyed by both of the soldiers again.
Maybe it can help a little bit this time around.
Yeah.
But last time it just kind of didn't do anything, it felt like.
I think it was mid-upgrade last time, so they timed that really well, luckily.
That is like such a huge thing to play around, and you really only get the one chance for like a second every single last hold. What a cool mechanic the sentry gun is, isn't it?
Yes,
anyway, we have a quick pause here. It is pause called by the Frenchies.
Oh, okay.
I'd probably have to scroll too much to find out who timed out here, if anyone, but it is 4 fans calling the pause. So we'll see what that might be for right now. You know, unless they just push out a last right now and get away with it somehow. Frankly, at this point, you might as well take any chance you get.
Yeah. I was expecting this to be a TLR pause. Like, with how much the
so did all
delay
of
is and
that,
stuff,
apparently.
I was like, surely this pause is because TLR lost a round and Flick is calling another attack pause. But apparently,
I think if you
French
have to
must
call a
crushed.
second tactical pause during a game, you should just leave.
I think at that point you might as well forfeit, yeah. It's over.
Neville called the pause and then Neville timed out.
I guess he was lagging. He probably
I guess he recognized early enough.
I'm gonna lag out or something like that. Let's pause real quick. Fair enough. I guess we'll have to see when he rejoins and gets his internet in order. I guess this gives, just coincidentally, TLR a moment's respite as well to talk about what the hell is going wrong.
This does give us time for my favorite segment of the stream, which is asking chat if we should ban engineer every single time until we do it. Viewer opinions? Anyone?
Surely, eventually, it's gonna work.
Surely admins will do it one of these days. Vito wants heavy banned, he says, but I don't know. At least that class needs aim, I guess. You can't just sit and spawn and back spawn if it's Weaver, so...
That's true.
That's my
Mini Sentry only. Mini Sentry only is a good opinion,
That'd be
actually.
so funny to, like, ban a stock weapon.
Like, ban every wrench but the gunslinger? That's actually a funny
That's a
idea.
start, you know? Let's start small, maybe.
And then,
honestly,
also,
though, like, what's really more broken? Sentry gun or dispenser?
The dispenser armor, man. You never know.
It's insane. It's like, it's gotten to the point where, like, even in Highlander, you just see Pyros again, because the flames get past dispenser. It's not even the Doubleman getting the bomb kills anymore, it's just the Pyros.
That's actually really
It's
funny.
somehow the only way.
You gotta make use of that piercing damage, I suppose.
Engineer has come too far.
How you feel about the teleporters? They can insta-kill, technically.
True, however, have you considered it? It's really funny when it happens.
You need to be omnipotent to make it work as well, or nigh omnipotent anyway. But it is
Or
very
Mookie.
funny, which is quite something. How many times does that actually happen? I know there was that one time when it happened to Crayon, right? I think it was,
Crayon's never gonna, like, lift that one down.
yeah, it happened to Crayon once. I think it was Muki who did it to him. I don't remember
Yeah.
actually. And I don't know if it's ever happened to anybody else on a Sixes game actually on ETF2L. That might have been the only time I've
I
seen
wouldn't
that.
remember. There's a couple in Highlander, but it's more engineer, so...
Oh,
Maybe
it
this
did
has a
happen at
Copenhagen.
Copenhagen. All right, fair enough.
Chat, find the clip. The people need to know.
Surely.
Surely it's out there somewhere. The truth is out there, chat. We'll find it. And then finally there's evidence that engineer needs banning. For what it's worth, I'm already happy that there's no lock and load in this game. I don't even know if I genuinely think it's broken, I just hate looking at it.
It's just, why did they give it 3 shots when it has 2 chambers? Make it make sense.
Why did it used to do 120 damage? Who knows?
Who knows? Valve works in mysterious ways.
Yet people want to trust them for game balancing in the future. Curious.
Well, I think they've given up on it, considering they're not doing anything
yeah,
with the game anymore.
it's just until there's like enough complaints on the GitHub, or whatever, where people send their like bug fix complaints in, nothing happens, and then
As far as
eventually,
here's a funny piece of trivia. I'm pretty sure those contractors aren't even working on the game anymore either. It's literally just Eric
Beautiful.
now. It's just Eric like accepting emails and going through the workshop every once in a while
he
to add
better.
items.
I'm still sending him the email, so he better read them.
The thing is, as far as I'm aware, that's the only guy still working anything on TF2 right now. So, you know.
Oh man, remember when they promised an update-sized update and then walked back on that instantly because people got fake hopes up? And then people got their fake hopes up so high that streamers started playing the game again.
Yeah,
What a wild time
somehow
that was.
worked. It
Just
somehow
like
worked.
unintentional gaslighting is something I aspire to do.
Yeah, it's actually like a very good skill to learn. Anyway, it looks like the game is finally on pause. So maybe we're actually gonna see some action. I still feel like there's a good chance Forfence wins this anyway, because I mean they're in such a prime position to make this another round that happens to go into their favors here. So,
but there's a sentry gun. How do we beat that?
Yeah, it is an automatic aimbot unless they somehow, someway manage to find the exact perfect angle where it can't hit you instantly. They're gonna try anyway. Brugeman gets immediately airshot though, and Azunas can't really find the damage either. He gets the sentry, but that's it. So he did get the little, you know, spinny around the sentry. And actually, it turns out it was a Pandemic with a nice body shot that denied Brugeman. But yeah, that's it. That's all they got with that. Now TLR find themselves in a little bit of an opportunity to perhaps get back out onto second tier if they wanted to. That being said, they're still going to bank on that Pandemic sniper as well to make something happen, and that is going to make pushing out a little bit harder, because if he doesn't hit a shot and get a frag, he's basically doing nothing.
Yeah, but as I said, right, if you really want to be one of the best teams in this game, you need to be able to do something in these tournaments, right? If you just sit here and nothing happens for 5 minutes and then you go back to mid as the pushing team, then you're doing something wrong and you're just going to lose to any better team. So something needs to happen quick, and we're getting the damage already, because man is just so far forward, actually, that it's becoming surprisingly easy to get the damage onto June.
Yeah, there you go. June has to force, and this is where Nevo times out. So, the round didn't quite end yet.
June does not have Ubo. That is very fortunate. That still happens sometimes. You have fakes and it only works half the time, so... Good stuff right there. They didn't lose to Uber.
Very, very well.
Here's why you lie about having Uber advantage just by not having it.
Yeah, it's all about the mind games, exactly. that
is there a
work.
rule against lying against stuff like this?
Depends on what you lie about. Anyway, it looks like Forfence want to try an Uber in this. They can't quite find the sentry immediately. It's matter of fact, it's gonna die because Flick switches off. He could have probably stayed on Engie for a little bit longer. They immediately focus on Pandemic. Flick and Matt also go down though. It is a disastrous hold for TLR already. Only Zams and June, and they can't even get out of spawn before the point flips colors.
And there you go, 2-0. They're just making every mistake be felt immediately on last. I don't even think that needs a demo review at all. Like, TLR knows exactly what the mistakes happened here. They're just a step away from safety, trying to peek forward for some damage, and instantly the soldiers are at 204.
Also, Flick swapping off of Engie before his sentry was destroyed probably didn't help either. I think that would have probably been better to let that maybe do a little bit more damage or something like that. Yeah, anyway, we're next to a mid-fight. You know, TLR, they're still in this. They still got like half a map. They have 15 minutes. Anything can happen. They're going to be into this mid-fight. June is immediately harassed by 2 soldiers and somehow dies to neither. As Pandemic does an absolute miracle keeping her safe from that aggression. Beautifully done. Even if they lose the mid-fight, at the very least they kept June alive, and they found Poi on the other side, so that's looking pretty decent for TLR right now, dare I say.
June is beating the allegations. We're not washed. We got it. It's actually really easy. It's the rest of the team holding us back, and there's the cleanup coming through to prove that maybe they're not holding anyone back at all either. And suddenly it's very doable, like you said. I mean, plenty of time for sure, and they just dodge and weave everything on the mid-fights, and they don't have anything to worry about. The game's really easy when you just don't get hit.
Yeah, if you don't die, you win. That's a crazy thing. Who would have thought of that? Now TLR actually have to convert this though. This is the first time they're finding themselves on an last push attempt. This entire map. It's been half the map time, so it's about time they finally warmed up and try and get in here. They have a full Uber to work with as well, so let's see how well they can do it. Sentry taken down immediately. There's 6 on the point. They're clearing them. Getting a little bit of cap time as well. There's a heavy to worry about as well now with Che. The Uber has faded. Now they gotta win the DM. They trade out Azunas from Matt. They find Nevo as well. Che is very low. They can focus on this heavy. He would be dead, but they don't. Zams gets taken down, and Flick just couldn't quite get the cap on the point either. Now it's only June and Ryan trying to run for their lives here. And, well, if Brugeman wants to chase, he certainly can try. June eats a rocket, eats another one, but that was only Splash, so she's gonna live, and they're gonna get out of it with just about by the skin of their teeth, but they do escape.
I don't know how they keep getting away with these, but somehow they're doing it. They didn't even need to Uber. I was gonna bank on the fact that they're just gonna get Uber in time, and that ruins it all, but they have so much cap time already by 80% on the charge, and it still wasn't enough. Get back and point just barely with a heavy slowly waddling back forward. And it just does it just about. So does this. Just a funny little sticky trap. I mean...
Okay.
One of those might not be a problem. 2 of those, that might be a little worse, actually.
Yeah, finding Zunas on the flank here as well. Ryan and Flick doing a decent job with that, so... TLR actually in a nice position to try and maybe go a bit forward here again. Matt trying to bomb in, does get denied any ground he would have wanted, but crucially he also does live, so... He's going to be back to immediately re-aggress as Ryan. Botches his bomb in, just decides to waddle for a bit. Nobody's really shooting him anyway. Now he goes high, trying to land on something. Couldn't find the medic. Tried for something else. Tried stealing it back. Flick Tries to run and gets taken down by Nivo though, and I suppose that's it for TLR for the time being. They're gonna have to heal up, try and find their way back, and try this again. Reset.
I mean, we've seen this before. For fans didn't need to do anything to win a round from here last time, so who's to say they will do it this time around? Even more pressure on TLR now to get something started. I'm sure they will just play really relaxed. It's not like they haven't played slow before last season either, so this wouldn't be anything new to this game specifically. Just when TLR messes up, we're going, and only then we are actually doing anything at all. And I mean, they don't have a choice. They're gonna have to do something here and scouting out what they can get away with. Now, not too much, but sooner or later something will have to happen from the blue team.
Poise just in such a far back position as well. Like, these soldiers have to commit so deep to try and even get close to him, and he's immediately surrounded by 2 scout mosquitoes as well. Matt trying his best here, Ryan trying to follow up as well, gets air shot, but does cruise to get the damage. There you go! They get the drop onto Poi. It took so much, but they do get it, and they even find a couple of frags onto Chain Alien as well. This is what TLR needs to try and convert around here.
Let's have a trade in the end. Might be fine, I guess, but Spawns are still going to take a second if they're going too quick to last. They still have somewhat favorable fight at hand here, but ultimately they don't need to rush this either. Have the Uber in hand. Just let your Spawns come in and just get the good fight going. Poi on the crit squeak, just trying to salvage something out of this round, but this is, for a chain, looking really good for TLR this game.
Yeah, they are suddenly very much active in this one. They are in control now. Now they just gotta try and get this last push mounted once more. They have a nice opportunity here as well. Forfans didn't have that much time set with defense. They're gonna have a level 3, but it is very far back, and they are gonna have a sniper on Nivo as well, but he's not gonna do much if the players are already Ubered when they come around the corner. There goes the sentry. Now they actually gotta get this last push mounted though. Are they gonna be able to? Are they gonna be able to actually make something happen here? The heavy's up on Che. The Putus is in play. He's very healthy as well. Finally gets focused on a little bit, but is it gonna be enough? He's got crits on him actually. He's lasering down everybody. Zams and Pandemic hiding. There's a soldier coming in. Okay, they actually do find it. Never mind.
Counterpoint. He's not lasering down anyone. They all get away in time, just about.
I saw one kill and I was like, surely this is gonna snowball, but everybody just gets out of his sight line just in time, so there you go. Fair enough.
No snowballs here. They're playing much too hot just now, and maybe they're just really warming up just now. There's still plenty of time to make this one back. It's only 2-1 lead. Still very doable here for fans. They tried to sit back on the laurels a little bit on second. Did not work out this time round. Turns out this is a 2-team game. And maybe there's still a chance. Midfight, like you said, though, looks pretty good, and this is still a very threatening position to return to after even a successful round. Because look at that, immediately killed. Combo kind of weak, though. That's the point kill right away. Everyone's still fairly weak. Dodges everything for now, but eventually Karma will catch up with them. Matt gets the kill there, but the hunt is on. Soldier behind already, and there's just 3 people in choke, hiding from it all.
Yeah, but they're a bit sandwiched here, and Pandemic is doing his best to try and keep the team safe, but Zam's so low. June gets picked up by Brugeman eventually as well. Zam's not finding himself in a tough spot. Pandemic trying his absolute damnedest to be a survivalist here. He knows these people are low. He picks up the kill onto Jay. He picks up the kill onto Azunas as well. Cleans up all of that damage. Now they just got to deal with his Brugeman. Just rat hiding behind. He's still alive. He's still below here. Surely, finally, they clean up that kill. So even though that didn't go as well for TLR as they wanted to, they salvaged it at the very end. They're still going to have some opportunities to actually take mid here.
Yeah, this is not doing it for fans any favors. They tried to do so much after the vet kill. Maybe we should have just called it quits, because now these spawns are so late. No one's on mid anymore much. To make it happen, they're going to have to repush off. Admittedly, not that big advantage either. Turns out they're too good with it, so Poi actually spawn is not that generously in the end compared to June, and they're already in with this. They're trying to get as much mileage as they can. Time's running out sooner or later after all. Gonna make stuff happen while you have the chance to make damage right away. Maybe there's a chance. Everyone's weak and they're lost position already, and TLR taking chances is working out for now.
Yeah, so aggressive. A lot of damage onto the combo, and everybody just has to back off for forfeits. They cannot do anything with this Uber ad now. It has faded away completely, and TLR are once again looking to push last. However, this time they don't have a full ad to work with, so it's gonna be a little bit more work that they have to put in. Now they gotta just make sure that they actually find their way into this as well. They gotta deal with that sentry, they gotta deal with that pyro up on the high ground as well. It's certainly a nasty hold to try and bust. And now if you're trying to push from the right side, you are foolish. A very foolish man here indeed. But maybe it could work, who knows? A sentry is gonna be level 3 sooner rather than later, so they gotta start moving if they wanna catch it. But I suppose they'll just try to win the war of attrition perhaps. That's gonna be hard to do with a pyro trying to just reflect everything. Ryan tries to jump in, but does crucially escape. Flick instead gets picked off by Alien, and I suppose that's going to make TLR give up lobby. Yeah, there you go.
Alright, number one of the offense defeated for now. Let them settle down a little bit, but as we've seen before on second, can't really get too cozy just yet. Still need to make sure that no one gets close to the medic. Still, fully well last damage on both sides. It's going to be a lot more generous the last position than 4Fans has been on before, which would make things a lot harder. And you'd hope 4Fans does not make it that easy to get to the medic, as the opponents did so far. That cannot be allowed to be a trend in this game, because otherwise this lead's just gone in an instant.
And they are trying to hold this very differently, as opposed to how TLR was doing, right? TLR was like
right
on the low ground.
The man-threat spot.
Oh, he gets in deep,
past the gun.
No!
We're holding this.
No cleanup on Poi either. There, a little bit of splash was not quite enough, but he got in so deep. If he had not beefed that second rocket, that would have been a very different story, but still, good try. Good, honestly, good attempt. It's as good as it gets against the Sentry. The Mantret's doing marvelous work there to keep him in it, but not
We're
quite
staying
yet.
with them.
Not quite yet. And they gotta try again. GG, go next. Try once more. You've got Azuna's spy checking as well, making sure there's no off-class shenanigans going on for TLR whatsoever. And they are
Here's the
not.
real question. How do you counteract any and all of Mantret's solo? I guess you just have to, like, counter-jump them, right? That's really all you can do at that point. Just
Yeah,
actually hit them to death in the air.
Try to somehow body block him in the air or something like that. Also, I'd like to mention, Azunas has switched to the conch.
I have not seen a good conch in years, so...
There was another attempt by Ryan, gets a lot of damage to the Poi again.
Scary as hell.
Poi eats another spam rocket as well. That could have been dangerous, but his balls
Like,
of
these
steel.
Mantrets are actually just getting in front of
Let's
the
do
medic. It's just a matter of hitting the damage at that point, which is barely falling flat by just dying too quick.
Yeah, it's either that or like just a slight bit too little splash or something like that.
That's where not having the self-damage reduction from rocket jumps active actually is a balancing point, because you get this so much easier. You better have a downside, like dying a little faster. Carrying to matter quite a bit, I guess.
Oh, he's gonna try again. Maybe no, he's not gonna go from lower.
They're not very big though, right? This is like barely follow-up spam they're getting out of these. It's just the sacks, not much else.
Up gets denied by a sticky trap by Alien immediately. Nothing's happening for you this time around, and 4Fans again. Just an iron hold. Nothing can break this right now for TLR. They're not finding the answer. They're maybe putting too much pressure, too much money on Ryan trying to make it work, but maybe he will. Just keep throwing it at the wall. Maybe it'll work eventually. But I feel like his battery's going to run out eventually. He's not going to have any juice left in him. And he's already back to the gunboats as well, so clearly the Mantret strat wasn't quite working for him. Even though it was doing good work, technically.
As soon as it's just hoping to get a single rocket worth of damage somewhere. He is on 95. He wants this thing up so bad.
He's gonna get it, potentially.
There it is. That has to be it. Yep, there we go. 100 conch. We got it, boys. It's something, I guess. Oh, they're popping it early, actually. Wow.
They're actually just gonna use it very early, trying to force an exchange here. They do find the sentry, but they are not gonna get anything out of Poi. Matter of fact, he doesn't even have to use. He's just gonna drop Rougeman, that's fine. Now they have the heavy as well, trying to hold this last point. If somehow, by a miracle, TLR can manage to do this, sure, that would be something, but that's not happening. The conch is in play as well. Finally, 4Fans pop their Uber, trying to clean up as much as they can. They only find 3. Or much rather, TLR only lose 3, which I thought it would have been quite a bit worse for them, given how terribly that exchange went for them. So, realistically, considering 4Fans don't want to push out either, they did just want to go for the
This is 20
reset.
so that's not so bad, actually.
Yeah, they actually
you don't have
another
any time
chance.
to do anything with it, but it's there.
They have one more chance. If they build this like crazy and get in as quickly as they possibly can, they actually have an opportunity here.
Also,
If they clutch it.
I don't know if the conch really helped at all. It did hurt, I guess, but
Yeah.
I don't know if it contributed much.
I guess
we
a
know
bit of
that
a speed
push is
boost.
coming. There we go. Only 80 on Poi. Gun down early, too.
Yeah, they're
Cap
trying to
time,
get as
cap
much cap time as well. That's so much cap time already. They force these 4Fans players onto the point. They're just playing this point so hard until R, but they don't get point. Finally, the Uber's popped out of him.
Overtime.
But he's got nobody to use it on. He's only got 2 players alive. As long as these TLR players can kite them well enough, they're gonna get this cap eventually. And there you go! In the overtime, in a damn 5 CP match, in overtime, they take the 2-2.
There it is. That's all you need. Just hoping and coping your way to a slightly worse exchange. And turns out, the mistake here was that Poi used too late earlier.
Yeah,
you should have
he's dropped
just
everyone.
taken the exchange.
Or that, and then like he
Yeah,
dropped
the initial
everyone.
exchange.
at the
You
end.
should have just taken the fight with the Uber. Like, just
There you
not
go.
hide and use late. Just take the fight. They're gonna have an Uber if you don't kill the medic there in the end. And suddenly they use so late. The med got out again.
There you
Giving
go.
them just the chance they need.
TLR are staying in this. They still have a chance here. Poi eats some nice damage, but also it's a nice surf early on in this mid-fight. Is out of harm's way for the time being, but everybody else on 4Fans has died. They found June, which is a nice consolation, I suppose, but you did wipe, and now TLR are bloodthirsty.
No way they start winning mid-fights now.
They want to get this in regulation time. They don't want to go to a golden cap.
I'm telling you, at the beginning of the game, that drop was that Joker moment. And they're out for blood now. They don't care anymore.
It might be working. Maybe a bit of anger is what they need. Maybe they just need a bit of rage broiling within, and then that's getting them going, as they are now. Well, they are equal Ubers, but they are certainly in control of second, and Forfens are gonna be perfectly content trying to hold last again. They, at this point, they are kind of sweating a little bit. Maybe they want to take this to a golden
now
cap.
They changed completely. Forfens was so confident looking in every stalemate so far, but they just don't want to city anymore.
Oh, there's a bomb in by Ryan already. He doesn't get night. He's the arrow by Poi as well. Poi's been on top of those arrows today. He's been hitting them.
Poi got like the first kill of the game, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been on top of this game with those. It's incredible, but still a lot of pressure out of Ryan there. June is actually going to get Uber sooner as well. It's not going to be anything to write home about. 15%, not even 10% more like, is nothing at all. But it is quite surprising considering how equal they were for the longest time. I guess Poi didn't really sweat it too much trying to build, and TLR once more gonna try to bust this last hold. If they can make the same thing happen again that they did last time, that works as well. If they can somehow force an exchange where Poi has to pop way later and then re-aggress with the Uber ad, that could work. That being said, they're just gonna force themselves in by killing Azunas, losing a Pandemic for it though, and not finding the Sentry either. Trying to spam it down as best they can, a little bit of damage onto it, but the Pyro's keeping it safe, and that's all she wrote on that one. Ryan almost dying as well. Flick just way too extended into last, somehow escapes again. I don't even know how he did that. I don't know how he got launched in like that, but he lives. So, another attempt for TLR. They do have about 50 seconds to try and make it happen, so at this point they should just send it. Nothing to lose.
So, I mean, this win for fans has to settle with this teammate, right? There's no transfer on it. They lost the point guaranteed this game. You have to hold the Elder. Just gotta make sure you even get that far for now. The scoreline this match will be 3-2 once again, like last season on this map, but the circumstances are very different.
It is certainly a lot closer for TLR this time around. They do use the Uber very early, Poi uses later, they do find a Sentry eventually, but TLR is so out of position, they're not even on last, no presence at all. Flick gets taken down. They really have to try and regress onto this point. They do have 20 seconds to make it happen, but they are just not finding anything. They're losing players. Bruchman's on the flank as well, tearing up the entire team, and that is going to be a golden cap, because there's no chance Forfens can win this round, so yeah, that's gonna be it. We're going to a gold cap.
Yeah, we didn't have too many games yet this season, but the narratives of these games are already very interesting that we had so far. What happened so far this season, not accounting for the rest of this match, I guess. But Vancouver Boogie immediately beat the playoffs team. Whatever the hell happened between TLR and Havoc the other week, I don't even know. Reigning third place, Mandem, one of the top contenders this season, immediately ties against returning former playoffs contestants, 3.5 stars as well. And somehow the Germans avoid playing for 2 weeks in a row. And now
it's a
second
top
place immediately forced into a golden cap after an incredibly dominant map one, mind you, and a really strong first half of this map too, mind you, as well.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of this game is just both teams losing to themselves more than their opponents almost.
Yeah, I feel like it's them falling to their own mistakes more than doing something good. It's just the enemy team messing up so royally in such a comical fashion almost that they can't help but win.
Those drops on last, just like, where were you going with your team there on the combo, you know? Like, as long as the soldiers are hitting stuff, they're not going to let this escape, and they certainly didn't. They're way too good for that. I guess there's still some notions here. As much as this might not be the week one result they necessarily wanted on Forfens, individually, both Poi and Azunas, the new additions to this roster, not unknown players by any means, of course, looking really good with the team overall. I've seen some people say, oh no, surely this is a downgrade on roster, or surely Azunas is washed. And people saying, no, probably Poi worse than Traxel or some things. No, individually, they're all looking crazy still. They're just, it feels like just complacent on the stalemates a little bit. And they want them so bad too, which just makes this a double-edged sword in the end, because they look good for a while, and then it's just, yeah, it's fine, and then just small mistakes, like using too late, not taking the exchange when you really just should on last, ending in significant disadvantage. It's so easy to be so happy to use later than your opponent, not realizing that the mat leaves, and then you're here with 20 disad, and they're just in the next push already.
Yeah, like if you use late, you have to guarantee that you get the enemy med. Otherwise, you're screwed. You're just screwed. You have no chance to come back from that anymore. You have a massive disad and probably even lost some players or something like that. It's not looking that great for you at that point. Also, I'd like to mention, not only do we have two French teams in Prem once more, it's actually going to be incredibly hard to tell which one of them is the better one. I think they're both very, very good, Matter of fact, we could very well see a French final this season. It could totally happen. It's going to be hard to tell.
Which might be the first full French Prem win of all time, if that were to happen. If we get to the double French finals, it's game over. We lost as a society. Who knows if that's going to happen? Maybe Mandem, still looking good, can save us from that. But for now, maybe TLR can as well, as long as they do not let product slide in big bands, and they can do some more of what the second half of this map looks like. On this one, however, despite the previous switch fight looking good, maybe there's still a chance for fans to do everything and anything they want to. Chasing deep, no one's even on mid anymore. Immediately, basically. Lost one, kill everyone, leaving right away.
Yeah, all it takes is a bit of pressure and suddenly Forfeits are immediately back on form. They were looking shaky for the second half of Sunshine so far, but now they are as dominant as ever, at least so far on this golden cap. Let's see if they can actually roll that into a last push as well. They're gonna have a bit of ad. Poi having about 20% more here than June, about 10% at this point, but still, it's not gonna be much to write home about, even though they did lose Alien, and that's gonna prevent them from trying to convert this into a last push. Matter of fact, TLR looking very, very keen to push this out into second immediately. These Forfeits players have to respect that. You gotta give up some positions, and
sometimes knowing these tiniest advantages might just matter. Holding closer with Uber, they barely knew it was there, could have made a huge difference. Now they waited so long to take the fight that June can just sit back, relax, and just never use at all. And we talked about using late. If you don't use ever, you don't have to worry, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, they definitely don't have to. Never gets cleaned up. There's Azuna's trying to sneak in behind it. Oh, actually, he might get away with Flick is on the chase.
Back
and there's a soldier as well. Okay, yeah, no, it's not happening.
Okay, not quite.
Oh, no, what?
But it gets everything and anything they ever wanted.
That is unbelievable. He's just... Mans was just trying to escape, and June just gets picked off and drops like that. That is unbelievable.
I was threatening it already. There was like 2 soldiers flanking from different directions. They had so much to worry about, and then it just gets even worse all of a sudden. Maybe Forfeits might not be that upset about losing a point in this game if it's still a win at the end of the day.
I am actually baffled. I am flabbergasted. That is so unbelievably sad and unfortunate for June. At the same time, Forfeits have to try and still make this last push happen, and if TLR have any guts in this, they will try their absolute best to hold this as best as they can, obviously. They got Pandemic on the sniper already. If Forfeits don't play this safely, they could very well lose a crucial player straight away, but they are going to Uber on the left side for once, trying to get this in deep immediately. They do find a sentry, but that's all they find so far. There's a heavy on Pandemic as well, and Alien gets taken out immediately. They trade out Zams on the other side, so no demo for either team here. Ryan gets taken care of, so it is not looking good for your TLR hold right now, but they do have the HP advantage. Pandemic is so healthy on the point as well, laying down the pain, and Forfeits just cannot close the distance to get him taken down. So they stay in this, and crucially, June has an Uber as well.
Maybe Beta was right, you know? Maybe we should ban Heavy. Opinions. Maybe just ban more classes, actually, while we're at it.
Well...
Heavy made all the difference in the world there.
Yeah, just keeping him alive as well, tanking him up so
snipe on
much.
Second. Wait a second.
Wait a minute.
What is the sideline here? Oh, just flowers. It's not super threatening on anyone.
Not yet, anyway.
But they also know it's not there, so maybe surprise back that helps. They lose Azunas though. They're still in, too.
Yeah, these Forfeits players are just crazy. Che does get the pick on the Flick there, but unfortunately, with having to settle for that, that's all he gets. No crucial pick there, only Flick, and there's still 3 players down on Forfeits. Now they have to keep backpedaling. They have an Uber themselves, but Alien gets taken down. Poi just uses it on Nevo, trying to maybe pick off something here. June does have to drop Zams, but ultimately probably manages to keep the Uber in play regardless. You don't have to ever use if you don't really feel any pressure. There is a Brugeman, and there is
not again!
Oh my god, not again! I saw the Brugeman bomb, I was like, that's not gonna do anything, but then there's a follow-up by Azunas as well. Oh no!
At this point, there's more drops than Ubers in this game. And if this is what's holding them back in these hugely winning fights, mind you, that's just a disaster.
Yeah. Is June's, like, right-click broken or something? Like,
I think June has been paid off by the French Mafia.
Maybe. There must be something, like, I feel like at this point, it's not just negligence, there must be some sort of, like, actual issue there. Like, the mouse must be broken. I don't understand, man. Either way...
Didn't sleep well, didn't eat good.
I mean, if anything, you should have gotten an extra hour of sleep tonight. You got an extra hour of sleep, we went back to winter time, man. Anyway, Forfeits are trying to push last again. But actually, somehow, after all of that, the Ubers are still pretty equal. So...
How are we back on this last point? I don't understand.
This was a disaster
on bit. I feel like for fans, coming back to people messing themselves up more than their opponents, they messed up everything after that last push just now. They made every wrong decision, and somehow we're getting rewarded for it.
Well, I suppose we'll see how TLR hold this once more. Bit of cap time out of Forfeits already, but they popped in so early. June doesn't even have yet, but Might not have to pop necessarily. There is a lot of pressure though. Nobody on forfeits has died yet. It's only a Heavy and Flick left here, trying to hold down this point. So much cap time already as well. And Forfeits play this right. They are all very low, but if they play this right, they can easily repush already with only a soldier being taken down on their end. There's the aggression, and yeah, that's it. That's curtains. There you go.
This does not feel like justice right now. They messed up everything on mid, and somehow they're winning the round. I almost feel mad for TLR right now. They dismantled them on mid, and then the drop happens, and it's completely over. I guess it's a miracle enough they got the 1 point out of this, and it was not a bad game overall in many ways, but it's just the ways they lost rounds is just incredibly frustrating.
That is very, very unfortunate. We won't talk. We don't talk about product. Let's not talk about the product incident.
Maybe they should at some point.
Probably if they ever plan on playing the map again. But Sunshine was a strong, very strong showing for TLR. And if they had just not had those slight little missteps every once in a while, I mean, I don't even want to blame June for the drops exclusively necessarily, right? Obviously, they just gave Azunas and Brugman way too much ground as well to even let them get away with that in the first place.
Like the first two rounds, especially, like on last, they had way too easy time.
They gave the soldiers way too much space to let that happen in the first place. So it's not exclusively June's fault. Like, getting 5 drops across 2 maps is disastrous, but at the end of the day, you can't just blame the Med on that alone. Almost ever.
I blame Witness for this one. They leave the season and suddenly all hell breaks loose in this division. Nothing's normal anymore.
Everybody's just good now or something? Like, what is going on?
Fram debutants are like first or something. Who knows what's happening anymore?
Cats and dogs being friends. It's a twisted world out here.
It's weird. I don't know if I like it, but it's certainly making for interesting games, if nothing else. And we can just hope they stay interesting as well. Let me just take a peek real quick. Who are these guys up against next? Who will have whatever this was up against them up next week, potentially?
Let's see. Have to go up against Havoc, technically.
That's going to be interesting.
They still haven't fought the Germans
Havoc was close with TLR. And this was close now as well. Circular Logic demands that's going to be a banger.
Yeah. Anyway,
and there's going to be 6 drops.
TLR are going up against current Prem leader of the table, Varmkorf Boogie.
Unwinnable.
They are going to lose. It's over.
You can't beat them.
Varmkorf are unbeatable right now.
Now, I will not say that I looked at the game. I don't know what happened, but they may have beaten one of these teams on product pre-game scrims. I won't say which one, but if they can do that, anything's possible, really, right?
I suppose. Circular logic and all that, I suppose we'll see.
Surely prem results and scrims matter at that point, right? If it's funny for the narrative.
Naturally. Anyway, next week's going to be hella busy, huh? Because we still got some week 2 games. We've got the Germans games who haven't played any yet whatsoever. So those
against
are
the other franchise, I believe. Oh no, against Fence, right?
Yeah, they're going to have 1 4-fence game, and then I think actually TLR as well, so maybe some...
We don't know how good the Germans are at all yet. I mean, on paper, the roster looks as good as any other they have, really, for the most part, right?
We just haven't seen them yet, so we'll have to see how that goes. There's going to be a big block this coming week, I think. This coming week, we're going to see like 5-6 games maybe, if they actually decide to schedule them at some point. So it's going to be busy. There's going to be a lot of action.
And if nothing else this season, it's going to be hella close as well.
Yeah.
I mean, we started off watching a game that wasn't closely tonight, and that certainly wasn't true by the end. So far, every game a banger.
I could not possibly tell you who would win Prem this season. It is impossible.
At this rate, it might still be TLR somehow.
Anybody could see it. Honestly, I think any team could take it this season. If they get lucky enough to get good matches, they play hard enough, it's anybody's game.
Well, we'll catch you next time for that here on TFTV. Stay tuned.
See ya.